Welcome to That Heartbreak Hogs podcast. If you are new here, please consider hitting that thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. Please comment down below your thoughts on our takes. And with that being said, we are going to head into the video that you came here for. We are back. We are ready for the SEC tournament. And Sid, what a scary victory we had there. There was a little scare there at the end, but I'm glad that we won, and I'm glad that we're playing South Carolina, get to the opportunity for redemption. But Sid, take us through your emotions through the Mississippi State game, how you were feeling going into it, and then throughout the game, how you were feeling.
So I was actually watching this game at the airport on my way back to Arkansas, and man, it was just nerve-wracking, I'll say, because the game again, they wouldn't put the game on the lounge I was in, so I was watching it on my phone, and really the whole game was just nerve-wracking until the end where I turned off my phone. I was like, whatever happens, happens. And I see a text from you saying like, phew, that was a close one. And I was like, let's go. Like, I was hyped. I was so hyped because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like just let my nerves not face this. Honestly, if I had watched, we would have probably lost. So I'm glad I turned it off, and I'm glad we
At
pulled
what
out a
point
close
did you
one.
turn it off?
I turned it off right around overtime. Like overtime had just not overtime. Sorry, second half had just started, and then I was just would put it back on, take it back off, put it back on, take it back off until
Gotcha.
the last 2 minutes where I the last 2 minutes is when I like completely just turned it off.
Was it because of just the nerves, or were you about to get on the plane, or?
No, it was a bit of both. I just had a feeling that I needed to turn off the phone for us like to win. I know when I'm watching, I just know I can't take it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
I
get
know
I
you're
get too
very
mad.
superstitious. You're very
I'm
superstitious with it too.
superstitious, and then I get pissed too if like we make stupid mistakes, especially to close it out. I just couldn't handle it, so I was like, I knew you would text me also if we had lost, so or if we had won. I mean,
Yeah, I
so
would have started blowing up your phone. Just going like, dude, you won't believe what happened.
yeah. I mean, you called it, and in that it would be a win. We both did call it. It'd be a win, but neither of us, I think, thought that it'd be this close. Mississippi State fought. I mean, we fought as well, but
Yeah.
really, this was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. If you remember a couple weeks ago, I was
Yeah,
like,
you
I
were
don't think Mississippi
skeptical of.
State
Yeah, you were
is going to
skeptical of
try.
it.
I don't know if we're going to be there. But this game was just, yeah, both teams you could tell really wanted it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird because when we went up, I think it was 16, maybe 17. I remember 16, but I think I heard 17 was the number. Anyway, 16 or 17.
Yeah, yeah.
We're up by that in the second half. And then they take the lead with under a minute to go, I believe it was. And it was just like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? And then we hit some clutch shots. DJ Wagner hit a three at the end. But then, of course, Mississippi State hits a three as well to tie it back up. And man, going up by one and watching Mississippi State just almost make the game winner down our throats at the end, it would have just been the most horrible thing to watch. I understand your emotions because I was sitting there just watching, going like, "Oh my gosh, if I have to sit here watch us give up a 16-point lead and see Mississippi State hit a buzzer beater in our last home game when we're
Yeah.
hosting
At
this
home.
big
Yeah.
time 5-star recruit.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my gosh. But the good news is we won. But honestly, after watching that game, I am very concerned about our depth. Very concerned about just how long we can play in a game. Now, this is kind of the second time that this has happened. Michigan, we did this as well.
Hmm.
We went up by around 15 points, 16 points, and then Michigan came back at the end of the game. Now we're doing it here at the end against Mississippi State. This team has given up leads. Texas,
Yeah.
we gave up that big lead against Texas at Austin.
Hmm.
So this team, I'm never going to be comfortable in the second half if we're up.
No.
But at the same time, I'm going to also know that we're never out of it when we're down in the second
Hmm.
half. If we're down around the double digit range, like just 10 or less or 12 points max, I think we're in it.
Hmm.
But I'm never going to feel comfortable, even if we're up by 15, something like that. It's just like, yeah, they're going to come back and make it. The other team's going to make it a 1 point game with
Yeah.
1 minute left.
For sure. No, it's the silly mistakes that when we let up off the gas pedal, it catches up so quickly, and it's almost like a blink of an eye. You're
Mm-hmm.
like, what just happened? Like
Yep.
we were up by this much, and what just happened?
Yeah,
Like
you're just
literally,
sitting there going like, I know like 3 minutes ago we were up by 15.
right,
Like, why is there such a difference in the change in 3 minutes? Like,
right. That was unreal. But hey, Jonas Adu.
yes,
I
big
know you had
opportunities.
gotten it confused with Adu Thero, but Jonas Adu came in clutch. I mean,
Yeah,
he
he
did,
played.
yeah, he did well.
Yeah,
And I think Thero's still going to be out. So,
yes. I just saw
um,
that both him and Fland are out, and there's rumors going around that Boogie Fland may be available for the NCAA tournament,
hmm,
which will be interesting. I don't think that
yeah,
him or Thero, even if they were healthy, I don't think the plan would. I don't think that they were going to play in the SEC tournament.
hmm,
Um, I think that Thero, even if he is ready to play, which I don't know if he is or not, but I think that they're just the SEC tournament. It's like we're just. I don't really even know how hard they're going to try to beat South Carolina. Like, I don't know what their rotation is going to look like. Cal has specifically said he does not care about SEC tournaments. This is nothing new. SEC tournaments do not matter unless if you're trying to play to get in. I think we're locked in. Now,
hmm,
if we do lose in the first round, we may have to do a play in, which adds even more stress to our potentially 7-man roster if Land and Thero don't come back. So I think you do need to focus and do all that you can in the first game, but I still think that they're even if Thero and Fland, like, just in my opinion, if they were available, I think that they were going to get sat in the SEC tournament anyway. Like, there's potential that they are available, is what I'm
yeah.
trying to say. It's just the
No, I
SEC
got
tournament
you.
doesn't really matter.
I know it doesn't matter, but I think this game still matters and should
Right,
matter,
right.
and it shouldn't be overlooked on like we did
No.
last time against South Carolina, because South
Yes.
Carolina's got something to prove. I know they're not going to make it in the SEC term, or I mean in March,
Not unless they win
in the
the whole
tournament,
thing. Yeah,
not
not
unless
unless
they
they
win the
win the
whole thing.
match, the
But
bracket.
that's the
Yeah.
thing; they're gonna try very
Right.
hard to do just that,
Right.
and so I wouldn't count them out, but I know for that reason, I'm not gonna jinx it, like I did last time, like we both did last time against South Carolina. Um,
Gosh, man.
So I'm gonna
Who would have
say
saw that coming?
right. I'm not gonna say this will be an easy win. Um,
Yeah, I don't either. I don't even know if it's going to be a win. I'm
right.
very conflicted on this one. I want to see
I'm
like the
hoping it's
rematch.
a win. We're
Right,
hoping it's a win
right,
because I don't want to be in a play-in, right?
right.
And we might not even be in a play-in if we lose, but
Yeah. It's really weird too because like the SEC tournament doesn't matter, but it also does, as in at least win one game here. But then after that one game, in a weird way, it's kind of like you want to lose because you
mm,
don't want to go 4 days in a row of playing with a 7-man rotation and not have enough time to rest for March. And that's part of the problem here that they cannot go into again. Do not get stuck with 9 scholarship players again. Like,
mhm,
you've got to go out and get like 11 or 12 scholarship players for next year. Do not be stuck with no bench.
right.
like um because like this is the problem, is that we are concerned about how many games in a row that you're going to play, because especially if you hit an overtime, like, we've kind of talked about this here. If we play an overtime in the NCAA tournament, I'm very concerned about the next game.
Mhm,
Very concerned. So, and that's what happens when you have depth problems. And if you play 2 days in a row or whatever, it takes a toll on that 7-man rotation. So, Sid, what are you
for sure.
thinking here? What do you think the goal should be, uh, in your opinion? I mean, it sounds like you that for sure you're like we have to beat South Carolina.
Mhm.
What's your opinion on after
No,
that?
no, I get the whole thing about depth, and it does suck, right? When you're like star players that you had big hopes for, Boogie Fland this year. I mean, Nick Smith Jr. These
Yeah,
guys that we had big hopes for
right.
just didn't pan out, got hurt, and that also affects depth. To our point, I know we need more depth. I think it's a tough road, and I see what you mean in that the top four teams really have the best chance to win because they're not playing as many games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking strategy wise, I think one game, 2 games, we have nothing to prove here right now.
Right.
We're not in that stage to prove, but I mean,
I mean, I
I
guess
think
like
I
South
wouldn't get
Carolina maybe.
embarrassed. I wouldn't want to get embarrassed because I think the confidence
Yeah.
continues building. And so if it's a close loss, that's fine. It's not demoralizing. You gave it your all and get ready for the next. If you're not gelling as a team and you kind of just give up,
Yeah, if you get blown out, that's going to be concerning.
you get blown out, and it looks like you're
You may
trying
even
to.
drop like out of it if you get
Right.
blown out. like
If it's like we're trying, it looks like we're trying, and
yeah.
we're still getting blown out. Um, that's going to be bad, right? I think everyone can agree that's going to be terrible. Um, so Ole Miss, South Carolina, Auburn, these three
Yep.
teams like on our
On
path,
our side of the bracket, yeah.
on our side of the bracket,
Mhm.
I think we give it our all, and I think it's possible we get there. Um, I know strategy wise, like you said, it makes sense to kind of lose the second one and get
Yeah.
time to rest, but don't just give up. Also, I would say just
Right. Yeah.
if you can win the games, why not? Like it'd be cool to have SEC tournament win.
Right.
Like it'd be cool to win the whole thing. So why not?
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you get past Ole Miss next, like say that you get past South Carolina, then you get past Ole Miss, then it's kind of like, okay, do you just aim to win the whole thing at that point?
Well, if
Like,
we beat Auburn, then it gets very interesting.
mhm.
Like if we get to Auburn and then beat Auburn, I think it
Yes.
gets very interesting in terms of our ranking in the tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Because you're just adding one after another quad one wins.
right, and it's that's a Auburn is like the quad one win that
Yeah.
we would get. Like they're gonna be one seed in the tournament, and if we beat them, that we get possibly just as good of a matchup. Hopefully, um,
Yeah.
again, I didn't think we would get South Carolina first round, um, but
It is a weird matchup, man, because it's just I I don't know what to think of it. Like I want the revenge, obviously, but I don't know if I feel confident in us getting that revenge. And then once that happens, it's like I'm going to be rooting for them to win. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not going to be sitting there going like lose, lose.
yeah,
I'm not going to be doing that. But it's just strategy wise, it's kind of like, man,
I know,
I don't know. It would really suck if they go on a big run in the SEC tournament and then they lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament because they're tired.
hmm.
And it's like, in like say that we make a run in the SEC tournament, not even win it. Like say that we get to the semifinals or say we get to the final and lose. It's like, well, we didn't get any type of trophy. We just one and done into the NCAA tournament
Yeah,
because we're too tired. We don't have the depth.
that's fair.
Um, but these are just hypotheticals and me just speculating based off of what I've seen. I'm just saying that Mississippi State like meltdown at the end of the second half. I'm glad we got the win,
Hmm.
but there are some red flags about that whenever it comes to the depth and the amount of energy the team is able to hold throughout the whole game. And again,
Right.
overtimes very concerning for me. I think this team is clutch in close game scenarios. So far, they've been pretty clutch. It's just when under a minute. When under 1 minute and it's like a one score, one possession game, they've been very
Right.
clutch. It's the next game that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
If they do that. And so anyway, I mean, I've been hitting the hammer on that
Oh,
for a
I'm
while, but
also a little biased. So I'll be in Vegas Thursday night. I get in Vegas at like midnight Thursday. So
uh
a
huh.
little biased in that I want to see Friday us play Auburn.
Okay, okay,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, Hey, man, I will say this: it will be like if you can find a way to win the SEC tournament, that would be pretty cool too. Like that would be cool to win the SEC tournament.
right.
Um,
Like that's
but man, do
yeah.
not sacrifice winning the SEC tournament and losing in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Right. But would
You
you
know,
rather have okay, this is an interesting question. Like would you rather have a SEC tournament win or a Sweet 16 loss?
and the
Like,
alternative is like that you would lose in the first round with an SEC
no,
tournament
no,
win.
no. SEC tournament win. If we win,
Uh huh.
then we still make it to Sweet 16,
Yeah.
but we lose. Or the alternative is like we just do play strategy, right? Play strategy, and then we lose in the second round. Or actually, let's say we make it to Final Four.
Final four, 100%.
Final Four.
Yeah.
What about Elite Eight?
I would still take going further in the tournament
A
than
win,
winning.
though. A win is like we don't get a trophy for going to the Elite Eight or Final Four.
Yeah, that's fair. I see what you're saying, but I think that you do get a do you get a banner for Elite 8? I know you do for Final Four
Yeah.
for sure.
I
Um
think what's more remembered, SEC tournament, like I think I personally would just take a SEC tournament win. I think that goes down as you won the whole thing. I mean, you saw this how tough SEC
yeah,
teams
whenever
are this year.
yeah.
This, you know how tough this bracket is, and just every team in here is like lethal.
I see what you're saying. Like just to say that you got a trophy in something,
the team like
you know?
right in the SEC and like out of all the conferences, when SEC has the most teams make it in the tournament, and out of
Yeah,
that conference, you won the whole thing. Like out of the best conference, let's
that is
say,
true.
um, you come out on top. I think that's saying something.
That is saying something, but like at the end of the day, the NCAA one is the most
Oh,
important. Like,
it would
yeah,
be demoralizing and just
yeah,
just
demoralizing.
straight embarrassing if we win the SEC tournament and lose first
Yeah,
round. Don't get me wrong, but I still think this SEC tournament like
I'm
win
curious
something.
on
But
other people's perspective on that
now
too,
now
because
there's a
this
balance
is a
too. I think
debate. You
yeah.
know, like because you do get a trophy for the SEC tournament, and like you're saying, it is like the best conference in the land, and it would be saying something. Now, I think this would be a more comparable situation, or a more toss-up type situation of pick your poison. Um, Going out in the first or second round of the SEC tournament, but making it to a Sweet 16 versus winning the SEC tournament and getting knocked out in the first round. And I would pick the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I would too. Um, I would too.
But if
I
it was
just
just a
think
one game difference, sure, I
what
guess you
would
could
be
say the
worse,
SEC tournament and then the Sweet 16 versus just an Elite Eight,
right?
and
What would be worse
that's
is I
fair.
think us going far in the SEC tournament but not winning it, and then you're tired
Yeah, that
in
would
the
be tough.
tournament.
Yes. And that's the other thing. It's like, God, that would be tough. Like going all the way to the final, you lose the final because, you're too tired. And then you lose in the NCAA tournament
Yeah.
because you're too tired.
When does the NCAA tournament begin?
I think it's a week after the SEC tournament. So it's maybe the following weekend.
Okay.
I don't know the
Well, the
exact
first four
dates.
in will be, I think like Thursday, probably Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, of next week.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we're recording this on Tuesday, so we'll be dropping this episode on game day on Wednesday. Um, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it is the following week. So the SEC tournament starts on Wednesday through, is it through Friday or through Saturday?
That is through Sunday. It's like
And
the
then the
championship is
NCAA
on
tournament
Sunday.
starts on a Wednesday.
No, I think the selection. I think we have time. I think selection begins. Well, it would be selection. Let me see. Well, selection Sunday is this Sunday, and the first
Right, and I
day
think that they start on like a Wednesday and Thursday.
Monday. Open practice schedule. Game one, lower seed.
Okay, so on Tuesday, March the 19th, so this is going to be dropped on the 12th, and then Sunday would be the
March
16th.
March 18th is when it begins.
So
So
the
next
SEC
Tuesday.
championship, the SEC championships ends on Sunday,
Hmm.
so the 16th. The very first four in matchup is on Tuesday.
Right.
Um then the real rounds start on Thursday.
Hmm.
Oh, this was from 2024. My bad. So these are a little off, but what
No,
it's going
it's
to be on
still
a
the same.
Tuesday, which is
Yeah.
18th. So it's going to be
This
on the
first
18th and
four,
19th.
18th and 19th is the first four.
Got it. And then
And then first
Thursday
and
the
second
20th.
rounds is the actual tournament beginning.
So if you make it to the SEC championship game, win or lose that, but if you just
I don't think
play,
they'll let you I don't think they'd make you play. I mean, I'm guessing, but I don't think they make you play on Tuesday. You play Wednesday if you make it to the whoever makes it to
Well,
the.
no, it would be Thursday. Thursday is whenever the
Oh
other
no, I
games
meant if
start.
we get on the first four, and which I guess if
No,
you
we're
if
past that. If we
yeah
make it to the SEC championship,
yeah we're way
we're
past that.
beyond
Yeah,
that. We would be on Thursday, but still, that's
right.
Monday. 3 full days of rest, and then you have game day on Thursday. That's nothing for a 7-man roster. I mean, that was like whenever we played
Three's
Texas and
not
then had
bad
to play.
though.
Well,
Three's not bad.
that was like that was the number of days in between playing Texas and South Carolina. Whenever we got rocked by South Carolina.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I personally, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm not rooting for them to lose, but I
right.
would not be upset if they put in their GAs to play the game on game 2 or game
Mm.
3.
Plus,
I
you
would
think about
not be upset.
traveling as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you think about the travel time,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like not having enough time.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's
I
another. Yeah,
think
you're right. The travel time, dude. Like, you're gonna have to travel from Sunday to Monday to that new place, or wherever the tournament
wherever
is,
we
wherever the
in
round
different locations,
64
wherever we
is.
get whatever round or whatever bracket we
Right.
get into.
So I think the best case scenario here is beat South Carolina and go out the next game. I hate to say it. Put in your
I
backups,
still
put
think
in your
that's too much.
GAs.
I think
I,
that's possibly too much time, though. I mean, no, not really. It's
maybe.
Thursday because you're not going to go travel. You're not going to go to the city you
Yeah,
need
so
to go
play on
to until
Wednesday.
Monday.
Yeah, play Wednesday, which is Thursday, or sorry, play Wednesday, win that, and then lose on Thursday. And then you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday to hang out and wait for selection Sunday. And then you got to fly out after that. Or heck, you may be flying out, getting prepared on Wednesday. The thing is
You don't know where you're going to be, like what
right.
region
If
you're
they
going to
lose
until
to South
Sunday.
Carolina, they could be in that that first 4
We're
in
playing
part.
probably Tuesday or
Right.
Wednesday.
If they beat South Carolina, I think they're a lock for the round of 64,
Yeah.
meaning that they play on the Thursday. I know this is probably confusing to some people. I hope you're not too lost with all this, but I think essentially don't risk it by losing to South Carolina, like you were saying. And if you beat South Carolina, you're a lock for the round of 64. If you lose to South Carolina, that changes things. You now possibly are the play-in game, which plays earlier on the Tuesday or the Wednesday. Or if South Carolina just like blows you out and some of these other teams on the bubble win their tournaments, you may be out of the tournament. I don't think that happens. I think you're in the tournament
I don't think
regardless
the
at this
tournament will
point.
decide. Yeah, yeah. I don't think the tournament's going to decide us getting out now.
But
I think
it
if
could
anything,
change where in it you are,
if we lose, I think even if we win Wednesday, I can see us like playing first day on the first day Tuesday, um,
Really?
which still
I
has
don't I
like
don't
if we lose on Wednesday against South Carolina,
okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I see us still playing Tuesday,
Yes.
which still isn't
See, and
plenty
we
of
don't want
time.
that. We don't want that at all. That's another game that
No,
we have to play. Like we do not want that. you know.
I'm hoping very much so we make it to Friday because I want to watch that game in Vegas.
Yeah.
And
I got you, man. Again, I'm not rooting for us to lose, but I wouldn't be upset if they put some other guys in that went in and played really hard, played to win, But
Yeah.
other
They're
guys were
used to,
playing.
well, they're also used to like all season. Season's not over, but they're also used to playing Sunday and then or Saturday and Wednesday. Like, so they have, if they go win Friday, they still will have, I think, a lot of time because they wouldn't be playing till Thursday or Friday of the following week.
Yeah,
Because season's not over. It's not like the SEC tournament ends and then I think once the tournament absolutely ends, like once we're out of it, that's when they can go relax on the beach until next season.
yeah,
Hopefully they still practice, but that's when they can like
yeah,
take their relaxing. I think right now you just got to keep where the momentum is high from our end of the season, right?
yeah,
We just got to carry that momentum, continue. Like we gotta. I didn't think we were gonna get on this hot streak. Honestly,
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you had told me midseason, I we were hoping for it to happen, but
Right, right.
um, now that we're on it, I think we just keep the pedal going,
Yeah.
keep keep it
There
going
is something
until,
to that too. It's like get some
and that's the thing,
consistency
you can't.
winning,
Yeah,
you know. Because if a loss can change that. You want to be in the mentality of winning, and sometimes that winning carries over, and then a loss can stop your momentum. But I mean, this team they've dealt with losses, and then they
I mean
play
we
hard
lost
after,
53 to 72 to South Carolina,
and then went on a 2-game
and
winning
then we
streak.
got to beat Vandy and Mississippi State, right?
Yep,
It's just like we
yep,
wanted to.
right,
So not the end of the world, but hope we get our revenge on South Carolina. Don't
yep,
overlook them, and then I think I'm okay. I'm okay with losing the next one if we have to, but don't get embarrassed again.
yeah,
Just keep playing. Don't try to get like injure yourself or don't try to injure yourself pretty much for trying too hard.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Essentially, if the game's not going your way, that's okay. If the game's going
Right.
your way,
And that's why I think with Thero and Fland is even if they were
yeah.
available, I don't think that they're going to do that because they don't want to. The coaching staff doesn't want them to get in there, try too hard, and then you injure yourself in the SEC tournament.
So
You
you're
know?
saying you do want them to play in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
You're just not wanting to risk it for the SEC tournament.
Don't risk it for the SEC tournament because I think that the 7-man
Yeah, I
rotation
agree.
that we have can beat South Carolina.
Hmm.
I don't know if they will, but I think that they can.
Possible, yeah.
And I think that they can do it without Thero and Fland. And I don't think that the South Carolina game, like what we were discussing, if you lose, I don't think you're going to get knocked out of the tournament. You're still most likely in the 64 round, even if you lose to South Carolina. Not a guarantee, but I still think that
Mhm.
most likely that you are. Um, and because of that,
Yeah,
don't risk the health of your two best players in the SEC tournament whenever you're pretty much a lock in there. And
right.
your seven other guys can compete and put yourself in a position to win without them, without
Hmm.
Boogie and Thero. But that's just my take on it, and I think that that's what they're doing. I
Yeah,
think that there's a possibility that they both are healthy and ready to go. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying I could see it as being a possibility of they just don't. The coaching staff doesn't want to risk it for the SEC tournament. They come back, yay, and then dives for a ball, twists his ankle, out for 2 weeks.
yeah. I also
You
wouldn't
know,
risk it. Like, they haven't played in, well, Boogie hasn't played in a while, so I wouldn't risk it. And
yes,
in that,
yeah,
even in the NCAA tournament, kind of slow him into it,
yeah,
where he's not just like, hey, like you haven't played in a while, but you're good, so scored
yeah.
30 for us.
It'll be interesting if Fland and Thero are in warm-ups. If
Hmm.
they're warming up with the team, I think they're playing in the NCAA tournament. If they're
Hmm.
not warming up with the team, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But
Warming up isn't warming up this week.
pregame, yeah, pregame, like warming up
Oh,
pregame.
okay.
Uh,
Well, we'll
because I
find
think
out tomorrow.
Thero's traveling with the team.
Okay.
So I don't know about Fland. I assume he is. So Thero hasn't been to all the games since his injury, so he'll be there, and it'll be interesting to see if Fland gets up there warming up. I think Thero did warm up a little bit with him last time. I'm not for sure on that, but I think I remember people were saying that he seemed to be jumping around and doing some stuff, and he didn't really. He looked like that he was ready to go. Uh,
Yeah.
so,
Here's
but
what I'm
I,
hoping for, and I'll say just to close it.
yeah,
I hope we win. I'm really hoping we beat South Carolina.
yeah,
Um, and then for Ole Miss, I'm just hoping that the shots go in, shots go our way, but like they fall in, we're shooting threes, and the shots are just going our way, right?
right.
Um, besides that, I'm okay if we lose if they're not. Um, but I hope we do beat South Carolina.
Yeah. I just hope the best scenario happens to prepare us the best for the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just my thing is that whatever happens in this, I hope it's beneficial for us to get more wins in the NCAA tournament. If that means winning the SEC tournament, go and win the SEC tournament. If that means losing in the second or third round of the SEC tournament, I hope that scenario happens if it gets you more wins in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Um,
I hope we get a good
so
bracket, like good spot
right,
also in the NCAA tournament because I mean that's Sunday's going to be big for that reason.
right. I just want to see us do a run in the NCAA tournament. Um, I'm just excited for the potential of that this comeback season to potentially make a run and silence all the people that were making fun of the Hogs all year long, that were hating on John Calipari all year long. This is your opportunity to sneak in there
Mm-hmm.
and get fairly far to make it to a Sweet 16, make it to an Elite 8, make it to a Final 4, and all of those people, you make them look silly and stupid for
Right.
doubting him and for all the radical things people were saying in the middle of the season, the beginning of the season, saying Kyle can't coach, he's cooked, all this stuff. He's not what he used to be. Da 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 da. Kentucky fans were right. Were they right? Did they say that they were going to lose at their home court? I don't remember them saying that. You know, so were they right? Now, don't lose in the first round of the NCAA
Right.
tournament because that's what we do not want them to be right about. So far, they've been
Yeah.
wrong this year. So, anyway, I think we're going to head out now. I think we've both expressed what we want to see in the in the SEC tournament and the SEC tournament and NCAA tournament, and we just want wins. We want some wins. It would be cool to see them make a run in the SEC tournament. I'm not against it. I'm just a little concerned about the depth, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. I think it's really going to be any like this tournament could be anyone's. Um,
Oh, real quick, dude. Give your prediction of who you think's going to win it and what dark horse, as in a team that is maybe in the lower half of the SEC, makes it
yeah.
further than people are expecting. For
Mm,
me, my dark horse, as I've already stated, is Georgia.
Georgia.
I think
Yeah.
Georgia is going to make a run in the NCAA tournament. I think Florida is going to win it.
Mm.
What about you? Who you got?
I think I can see. I had Florida winning it as well.
Okay.
Um,
I wanted to beat you to it. I had a feeling you may pick Florida
yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah. I had Florida doing well as well, and I think honestly, I would say A&M. I know it's not the
That
lowest half, but
okay. But
um,
they've been slipping. They've been
yeah,
slipping. Right.
they've been slipping, and I think they can beat if they can beat Texas or Vandy,
Mhm.
whoever they play, and then they got Tennessee after that,
Mhm.
and they're capable of beating Tennessee, and then it's possible. I still think Florida outmatches them, but um,
Okay.
that's the furthest path I see.
All right. Well, we'll have
Auburn,
to
I don't know about you, but I don't see.
I
I
don't
don't know if
either.
Auburn will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something I feel the same way. I
Something
kind of
feels
just
off.
yeah, something feels off. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All
All
right.
right, I guess with that, then we're gonna head out of here, and then we will be jumping back in here after the result of wherever the Razorbacks go. Hopefully, they're not a one and done in this thing. At
Yeah.
least beat South Carolina, and then we'll do a recap of that and see what happens.
Yep.
All right, see you guys then. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Again, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and commenting down below. We'll see you guys in the next video.